Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Today, we are going to talk about the big picture of what we're doing. It is kind of the model and the overview of essentially how and why we're going to be successful driving traffic to our Peerspace from our Peerspace and Gigster pages into our websites, and essentially the funnel that we're going to follow in order to have a high converting offer and land our clients. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Great. So today is the big picture. Really short today. We are going to cover the model that we use and then just go over a summary. So as always, you can follow us along on our newsletter, omg-rentals.com/newsletter. Here's where you're going to find all important updates regarding the course. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok for exclusive content. Um, and if you like the course, share the course. So the hope is to change people's lives by showing them short-term rental strategies that don't require overnight stays. So the more people, the happier and merrier the course is. And uh, as a tidbit, if you invite friends, you actually have a higher chance of success. So definitely share the course if you find value out of it. Warning, this is the most important video in the entire course, so please pay attention. And if, as a pro tip, you can always watch the video in 2x speed. So, the big picture. Uh, I have this linked below this course, but you can also find it at omg-rentals.com/big picture. It is a Figma file, and we are going to go just start right at the beginning here. So, what is the big picture? The big picture, we did this in the last lesson, but essentially what we are doing is we are taking a niche and we are helping them achieve X result with our offer. So we're helping independent filmmakers find affordable and creative spaces through our our listing that has flexibility and a responsive host, you name it. This is essentially, again, where we take a, a client in their current situation, and through our listing and through renting our space, we bring them to their desired situation and what they're hoping to achieve. I know we went over this a lot of last course, but this is the foundation of what we are doing and why it works and why we're going to be able to sell these people on renting our space. Um, so I won't dwell over that anymore. I think you guys get the point, but this is critical. This is mission critical because this is what we're doing at a base layer. It's a great thing to just remove yourself and from a third person perspective, understand holistically what it is that you are actually doing and having intent around helping people achieve that result that they're looking for. So this does exactly that. So fill in your answers here. You can copy this Figma page. I think you just come here, you go File, you can save a local copy. So you can't overwrite what I have here, but you can create a copy and yeah, and Figma is completely free. So this is just a great place, and this whole big picture template that we're going to do is just a very high level. Here's, here's what we're doing. We're helping these people achieve this result. How are we doing it? The ways we drive traffic, as well as like what are we trying to achieve and what are our goals from it. So fill this in with your own answers. Um, and with that, I'll just move on. We won't talk about it anymore. But now we're going to talk about the ways in which we drive traffic to our product or our service. So driving traffic, we have a couple free ways and a couple paid ways of how we can drive traffic to our listing, our event space. And those namely are Peerspace, Gigster, TikTok, and Instagram. These are, and I'm starting here, there's obviously more, and we can talk about more later, but these are free modes of traffic that you can start today for free, no additional cost, no nothing. So I listed these out because I 100% encourage everyone listening to this video to use these methods of traffic. It costs you nothing except your time. So we're going to use Peerspace. use Gigster, use TikTok and Instagram from just our posts to drive traffic. And the way I've separated here is the green is organic. So these are all free methods of outreach and traffic. And then I also have this like uh, orangish color, which represents paid traffic. So in terms of paid traffic, we have Google ads and meta ads, meta being Facebook, which, Facebook, Instagram, Google being YouTube, Google. But these are the ways, these are paid and these are free. So what are we doing with this traffic? Well, first and foremost, we're creating listings that, so for Peerspace and Gigster, this course is teaching you how to create listings to optimize to optimize for traffic. Essentially, how do you get a ton of visibility from these sites? And later on, we also talk about Instagram and some of our social media outreach, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, as well as advertising. We have a whole marketing course that teaches you how to run this to essentially how do you get as many eyeballs as possible from these sources of traffic, and how do you get them, funnel them into your opt-in page, your website, and ultimately to book your space, right? So, yeah, so that being said, we'll move kind of directly into what it is we're doing. So here's your sources of traffic. Peerspace, Gigster, right? Everyone should be familiar. At a later point, if you don't want to start with socials just yet, completely understand. At a very minimum, at the very, yeah, at a minimum, we should have both Peerspace and Gigster listings going, which we will drive all of that traffic into essentially a free bonus or an opt-in. So specifically speaking of Peerspace and Gigster, what is the free bonus? What is an opt-in? So for a free bonus, what you're essentially providing these people, when people reach out or find your space over Peerspace or Gigster, one of the things they're going to be interested in is, and these are two very, very easy ones. Number one, setting up a tour, right? People want to see the space before they spend money, reserving and booking a space. Number two, uh, they would like some sort of layout, some 3D graphical layout of your space, or maybe some videos to see how the space looks at night versus how it compares at day. So that is our easy bonus that we can provide for completely free, right? And what this is doing is on our end, it is providing value upfront for the customers, but on our end, it is also not only is it providing them value, but it's also allowing us to collect customer details and information. So the first free bonus opt-in that we're going to provide is, the easiest one I would say is to start with videos. So in order to access videos of the space, you can just easily create a sign up link, or actually maybe the easiest would be scheduling a tour, right? You can use Calendly.com. I'll show you that. You can use Calendly. There's also, there's native tools within Google, Google.com right now, or your calendar on Google that you can use that allow you to have appointment scheduling, or you could use anything like Calendly, Acuity, which is another scheduling tool. There's no shortage of scheduling tools on the internet. So find one that you like and that you're comfortable with and that's easy to use, whether it's native Google Calendar, whether it's a third-party app, whatever it is. The easiest free bonus and opt-in that you can have and provide your customers so that you get their customer information is going to be a schedule a tour. So sign up for Calendly. When someone replies and reaches out to your space, your first message should, say thank you, really interested in hosting your XYZ event. If you would like to see the space, feel free to schedule a tour here. Another opt-in you can have is for free videos or photos of the space. You could say something along the lines of, since Peerspace and Gigster only allow us to have X amount of photos, We do have additional photos located here and share a link to your Google Drive, your Google Photos, excuse me, sorry, um, or anything of the sort, where essentially what we're doing with this free opt-in and this free bonus is we're collecting information. We're getting a customer's email or a phone number, um, and that is going to help us to remarket to them as well as show interest. So those are two ways you could drive it. You could collect information is whether you're doing a tour, whether you're doing photos. And the last free opt-in or bonus that I like to use is and this is a little more advanced, but you can do 3D tours of your space. The platform I've used in the past was called Kula, but it essentially is a way to create a 3D markup. Maybe I spelled it wrong. Here it is, yeah. Essentially, it's a way to create a 3D mockup of your space, similar to that on Zillow or um, any of those real estate listings where you can take photos from your phone, upload them so that people get a walkthrough of your space and how it looks. And so that is how we're going to drive traffic from our Peerspace and our Gigster traffic. We are going to drive them to one of those three free bonuses and opt-ins. Again, this provides instant value. It saves you time because, whether they're interested in seeing more photos, whether they're interested in scheduling a tour to see it in person, or if they want a 3D tour, it provides them access to that instantly. So you already get them like in the next steps, in the next logical steps that they're going. And this all falls back into host responsiveness and anticipating the needs of your customer. So again, just to recap, we're going to drive them to one of those three opt-in methods. And for Instagram and TikTok, as well as these other ads, what you're going to opt them into is you're going to opt them into, typically the free opt-in you're going to do is a sign up for a X amount of discount. So whether it's 10%, 15, 25, whatever it is, or maybe a free hour or anything free that you could provide that's of, little cost to you, but good value for others. You'll want to drive those social media, that social media traffic that you generate to something like that so that, again, they sign up, they give you their information, so it's at no cost to them. It's a easy added value feature, no brainer for them to sign up and give you that customer information. And that way we can remarket these people. We know they were interested. We have a reason of why they were interested, whether it's a seasonal, whether it's a annual, whether it's a one-time event. We know exactly kind of what this customer is and what they're interested in your space for. And it allows us to put them into our customer relationship management database so that at a later point in time, we can remarket them as well as we can follow up and try to close them on the deal instantly. Lastly, this moves them away from these platforms and into our custom website or customer search so that we can actually avoid 20% fees and make a much, much better offer. So, and that's why with your free bonus, go ahead. You can easily go ahead and offer a 20% off discount because that's exactly what you'll be saving by converting these customers offline and onto your website is you can easily offer 20% that you'll be saving, and now you have the chance at a repeat customer. So it's super, super simple, but that is exactly where we're going to drive these sources of traffic. And again, social media and all this, we have a whole marketing class in our house hacking course, so definitely be sure to check that out. But for now, if this is where you're at, that is perfectly fine. This will get enough traffic for you to move into to get these people into your free opt-in and to move them away from Peerspace or from wherever into your own CRM so that you can sell and instantly improve your profit margins by 20%. So absolute no-brainer. From our opt-in, where we're going, so once we collect their emails, the next step is once they click next or whatever, and they're going to be directed to our website. The website is essentially our page. It's similar to the Peerspace or Gigster listing, but it would look much more. It would essentially be the same thing as a Peerspace listing, except it would have all your FAQs and all your answers and to anything like, you know, parking and accessibility, what do's and don'ts, rules. And I will pull an example of this up. Yep, so here's an example of a website. A website is essentially a static page, but after they do the opt-in, and you can even have promos on your page. So for example, for one of our clients, they open this up, the first thing they get hit with is a 10% off. A lot of people will click through. You can, you can direct people to your website during a physical in-person tour. So they'll open this, they'll claim their gift, which is the 10% off. But it's your static page, which has your listing, it has FAQs, allows you to book now. It shows them the overwhelming amount of reviews that you guys are going to collect. So it has everything you could possibly need, and ultimately it allows them to book now. Well, in this case, it might be because I'm screen recording, but ultimately you'll send them to your book now page, which allows them to select a date. Yeah, here it goes. It is because I'm screen recording. But I got a little workaround here. So, right, make your reservation, they enter all their information, and they book is theoretically the process that we're aiming for. Right, so that's your website. So the opt-in, which is that 10% promo you saw, leads to your website after they signed up, which leads to that booking, which instantly allows you to save 20% versus losing 20% that you would see based off these channels of traffic channels. So that is what we're doing. That is literally our funnel. We are solving this problem for this target audience. The way we are getting that target audience is through these sources of traffic. With those sources of traffic, we drive them into our opt-in page, which brings them to our website, which ultimately brings them to the booking page where they have the choice to book one of two things, which is one, our basic listing. So this is where we have two listings essentially. We have a basic listing and our premium listing. For those of you who are just starting, do not even think or worry about the premium listing. You only have one product you are selling, which is your basic listing. And what I mean by basic and premium is, on one hand, we have our hourly listing with minimal add-ons where it's a self-service option. This is Peerspace and Gigster, right? People rent from you hourly, and that's it. They have the options of add-ons, but that is that's the listing, right? Here, I'll show you what I mean by add-ons, just so you can see. But when I say your add-ons, it's like cocktail tables, your moving headlights, your par lights, your tables, your chairs, etc., right? Like those are your add-ons. So that is what we mean by a basic listing is literally just your Peerspace or your Gigster listing, nothing more, nothing less. It is a completely self-service option. And again, if you are just starting out, this is where you should be. So no worries there. But through this course, what we're going to teach you is how to have, quote unquote, a premium listing, which is how do you take people from just the basic listing and how do you get them to have a premium listing? How do you, instead of selling just people on your hourly self-service option, how do you sell them on a done for you product where, okay, you're having a baby shower here, and you sell them on all the premium add-ons. Okay, perfect. I have marquee letters. We have cold sparklers. We have a saxophonist. We have everything, right? It is a done for you product, and through this course, you're going to learn exactly how to do that. And it's a lot less work than you would imagine, because what we're going to do, and we'll see this in the sales funnel in a second, but you work with affiliates and others so you can procure those items and those products and solutions for your target audience without having to go and buy and set up everything. And that's just going to be a much faster way to set up your event listing or your production listing and have all those add-ons instantly. So, and the reason we are going to have these kind of two listings is, one, your self-service, again, This is where you are collecting a ton of reviews. It's where you're getting just a ton of traffic and selling people on these self-service options, so at a much more affordable rate and discount. All the while, that funnel in this process is just building, building, building your SEO and building your listing so that you're always going to be a top ranked person within whatever market you're focused on. So if you're in Atlanta, if you're in New York, wherever you are, this is so important because it's going to build you to the top of the list. Now, this is so important. The premium listing is because this is where you make your money, right? This is where, if you, from those beginning videos and the welcome course you saw, this is where I've been able to make those $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 bookings, is because you sell them, you upsell your customer on here's what additional things we can do, right? You want a saxophonist, you want a marquee letters, you want cold sparklers, you want a photographer. We have everything, and this is where you're really going to be able to make a killing. So again, these are your, so just to recap real quick, it is here's what we do and who we do it for. Here's how we drive traffic. Here's the funnel and the process that that traffic follows. And here's the two types of products we sell those people on, right? So here is the flywheel. And what a flywheel is a process that essentially just that keeps going and going and creating more and more and more, right? So like we said, one of our business principles is more, not new, right? So as you can see, it truly is more, not new. You take the process and you just continue, 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 and it builds and builds and builds on itself, right? We're not looking for different methods or anything. We're just trying to do a lot more volume and get a lot better at the process. So here is the process, right? We are taking traffic, whether it's organic or paid, and we are moving them. That traffic goes through the sales process, which is right here, your funnel, through that sales process. And this is where we have the split, right? So whether it's basic or the premium, if it's just the basic and you haven't had any, you don't have any add-on products or anything to sell them, you kind of skip over that and you go right into your product, which is hourly listing, um, you know, add-on options if you have any. But at a higher level, and where we're going to take you through this course, is we're going to get organic and paid traffic to go through your sales process in that booking funnel. Then we are going to have add-on products that we can sell them on, right? So if they need help with their event, or they're coming up with a baby shower or a birthday party, we can have add-on products through our affiliates, such as event planners, right? So we can be like, oh, do you need help planning your entire production, like your entire birthday? We have event planners who are well suited. Do you need a photographer? Great, we have affiliate photographers we work with. Do you need a videographer as an engagement? We have affiliate videographers. This is where you're going to build the done for you product. And so you sell them on the listing. You're like, hey, here's the price of our listing. And then you have the add-ons of your affiliates. So it's not necessarily that you need these. It's not necessarily that you need to know how to be a photographer, need to know how to be a videographer. We can leverage our network, which is, this is the beauty of this whole thing, is through renting your space, you're going to find these people in your local market and you're going to be able to work with these people. So it really is a flywheel that builds upon itself, which is just amazing. There's no other business like this. So you guys are totally in the right space. But we're going to literally upsell our affiliates upsell our clients on our affiliates products. And we're going to be able to retain a percentage, whatever that percentage is that you negotiate. And again, we'll have a whole course talking about how you find these affiliates, how you create deals with these affiliates, and work with these people to sell these products. But drive traffic, go through the sales process, get their information instantly. We're going to use our affiliates for even more products, as well as just upselling them. And then finally, we're going to bring them through and sell them on our physical product. So simple as that. We're going to take our physical product, which is the rental of our space, and that is our sales process. Eventually, and I don't want you to think about this yet until you're at a bigger level, but eventually we're going to be making a lot of cash that you're going to have more money. So and you're going to have to figure out how to invest that money. Whether first and foremost, you're obviously going to invest in the company, right? Uh, but this is going to look like purchasing production equipment, purchasing some of those marquee letters, right? You're going to start purchasing those things that you worked with affiliates for. You're going to figure out the demand, what the highest demanding products were, and you're going to be able to start replacing some of your affiliates by taking it in-house. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. But you're going to be able to take it in-house, and ultimately, once you have a lot of recurring revenue and you're making a hand over fist, we're going to learn how to invest in other spaces so that you can double your revenue, find new, find commercial spaces. Maybe you want to get into commercial residential game like I am, and become a landlord and find ways of directing other traffic. So we have a whole heap, but again, this is for the elite of the elite. This is when you're making a killing, is when you start getting to investing, but there's definitely levels and steps to it. So for now, the process is you drive traffic through your sales process, you have add-ons, and if you don't have add-ons, you just move them directly to the hourly product, and you close the deal through the messaging that we come up with. So incredible. We have a lot to go through in this course, but this is at a high level exactly the process we are doing, right? It's super, super simple. It really isn't. I drew it out like this so you guys can synthesize and understand it, right? And again, each of these is its own beast that we will cover and go through in our own courses. So we have a lot to learn, but at a high level, you guys are in perfect condition and in great hands to learn this process and how to build on this process. So I think everyone should have a good understanding. If not, feel free, DM us questions, post in the community. We can revamp these if we can revamp these courses and learnings if it's not as explanatory. Um, and we're always looking to improve. So, but at a high level, this is exactly the process we're going through. And so the next step here is to really list out your goals. So what, with the goals, this is super important because without goals, you're not going to go anywhere. It's as simple as that. You need to have some sort of mark or measure. You need to have something that you're aiming for. Otherwise, you won't achieve anything really. You'll just kind of stay stagnant and be happy with which you'll just be happy with complacency. So that all being said, the next step of this module is to really set your goals. So I want you to put your name down. I want you to write your 3 goals that you want. And I also think it's very important to put together some sort of vision board. I've never really been much of a vision board person, but I've come to realize like this actually helps way more than anything else. So when I was starting out, this was kind of the vision board I had put together a while ago, but my goal was $10,000 a month, right? In recurring revenue from just my rentals and event space, 10,000. The reason I reached there is that was essentially what my investment banking career job was paying me. So 10,000 a month is what allows you to hit that spot. It essentially is 120 grand in salary. So that was the kind of where I put it. And the picture of the private jet, that was like thoughts of taking a private plane, private charters, traveling the world, which is also this bottom right photo. This picture of a nice apartment, it goes hand in hand with, being able to rent beautiful spaces, not only obtaining beautiful homes and spaces to live in and to see during like with my travel, but also having a space that I can rent out and have like movies and music videos and whatever else, and other event like birthday parties like shot there, which is also the reason for this picture on the left, which is movie posters. I wanted my space to be used so that it was included in different movie posters, and helped with like different indie films, and helped creatives kind of achieve their dreams, as well as this is just more materialistic stuff, but your watch and nice cars. I have 2 matching like Corvettes because me and my brother would be sick to, you know, have matching cars and in different colors, and Uh, yeah, so I definitely encourage you all to create a vision board. It just gives you something to aim for and reinforces the idea of what you're going for. And on top of a vision board, to have some actual definitive chief aim, which is just a statement that you read to yourself every single day, right? The reason you want these two things is you're going to print out your vision board and you're going to print out your chief aim, and you are going to read these statements every single day. It just reinforces who you are, what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what you're trying to achieve. And if you do that every day, if you visualize this every day, I don't think you can ever go wrong. I don't think you won't, like, I don't think I think it's almost impossible to not achieve your goals if you do those two things. Um, just because you'll dedicate your life and your passion and your energy towards something. There's so many people who talk about visualization and how important it is. I know it's kind of cliche, but after doing it, it really is incredibly impactful, and it actually does help like a lot of your goals and dreams come true. So, uh, yeah, so do a vision board and copy this Figma file, replace my definitive chief aim with yours, what you want to achieve, when you're going to achieve it, and then also what you're going to give back, right? Like, you don't want to be all selfish here. Who are you trying to help? Why are you trying to help them? Let's help others achieve their goals. And so you can take everything I've written here and change it for yourself. But this is a great starting point to to understand exactly what we're doing in the flywheel and process that we are going to use to achieve those goals. And then just to consistently reinforce what it is that you want out of life, because life is way too short not to live a full life and not to have fun. So yeah, so your homework is create a vision board, rewrite your definitive chief aim, and yeah. And so that being said, we'll just kind of go into the summary. The summary is the big picture. Download the Figma file, copy your big picture template, work on it, adjust it, print it out, have it by your desk. You want it someplace you will see every single day, every single morning to refocus and to know where you are headed. 2, internalize your big picture and just see it daily. Keep your eyes on the prize. Stay dialed in, focus, and see through walls. You just be religiously committed to this idea, and it will come to life, and you will be so successful if you do this. So, as always, you can follow along on our newsletter, omg-rentals.com/newsletter. This is where you'll see important updates regarding the course. If you've liked this course, share it. Also, if you like this course, leave us a testimonial at testimonial.to/omg-rentals. Leaving a testimonial, you have the chance to win special prizes, so definitely do so. And as always, let's get to work. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next course.